Started up early. I can never just enter this live with something normal. It's always got to be something different. My favorite, excuse me. My favorite quote is "Zip it up and zip it out." 3 pages of notes. I start talking and I never use any of them. That's usually what happens. Let me start this up. Oh, it's already a request. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, what's up?
I still can't. This whatever this blue, I keep calling it thing on the screen is. I still can't figure it out because I'll hit it and then nothing will happen. But maybe it's just a slow on my end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe it's just slow on my end. I should really get comfortable here. I've been sitting like this for 4 minutes. It's really bad. There's always that awkward pause for like when I have to send you the invite, and then I'm just like sitting there looking at like in the midst of dead air, trying to fill trying to fill it in.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. My favorite quote is "Zip it up and zip it out." It means nothing. It means
That's
nothing.
crazy.
All right, I'm gonna try to cycle through this because we have, God, 6 games. Somebody help us. We have 6 games, so I'm gonna try to cycle through this real quick with um the best game, probably one of the best games of the last 25 years. I almost called them Oakland again, Las Vegas, and I almost called them San Diego, Las Vegas, and LA.
Yes, that was one of the most craziest games, bro. I honestly thought the Raiders were literally just gonna like bleed out the clock and let the Chargers go to the playoffs.
Well, you would have upset Pittsburgh, but
So who cares?
yeah,
Like I always tell people, like I always tell teams all the time when they get mad, don't put your playoff hopes in other teams' hands, bro.
yeah. Well, it's clear that it's clear that Big Ben needed to have been done, at least a season ago, or well, they made the playoffs. So that's not fair, but at least this season. So who knows? Brandon Staley, we got to discuss this shortly. And try to make it quick with the going for on fourth down as if Justin Herbert is going to bail him out of every situation is it's beyond the pale. I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
There are no words.
I don't know what I was like, why in the world would you do that? But then the Giants ended up doing the same thing earlier on third down. I was like, you know what? Let me not question anything because I'm like, yo, at least they're in a position where they could probably make the playoffs. But uh, yeah. But the fact that they ended up converting on fourth down every single time, like, yo, the game's over. The game is
Oh,
over.
that was a trend. It was like fourth and nine. When they got like a pass interference, they must have had like fourth and nine or fourth and
They
10,
convert like
like
fourth
five
downs.
times. Like yeah, it was crazy. But the one that from their own 20 cost them 3 points, and it was tied at the end of overtime. I mean, at the end of overtime, at
Hmm.
the end of regulation. So, um, I mean, it's a theme I've been bringing up. They have a nice front seven, and they haven't played up to it. Josh Jacobs is running for seemingly like half a mile, on them, and he's just gashing them. Austin Eckler did well. He looked like a mini, mini, mini Ray Rice. He was.
Yeah,
It was just a hat on a hat, and it was beautiful. It was nice to see. So
yeah.
the Chargers are going home. It's rough
Yep.
to watch. It's rough to watch. Give it to Las Vegas with the narrative for their season. They've been going through a lot. Hunter Renfrow had his touchdown reception was his 100th catch of the season. So
Right.
what? Yeah, what a nice football player. That's not the right terminology. All right, we can move on to Baltimore and Pittsburgh here. Baltimore. They've been in a lot of close games. Not as much as Minnesota has been.
I like
Obviously
their
you're down.
quarterback. What's his name? Like, was it Tyler Huntley or something like that?
Yes, he was struggling earlier in this game. I believe both quarterbacks threw an interception.
Yeah, they did. I'm not surprised with Big Ben at this point in his career, but yeah, but I really wanted the Steelers to win, only to make the Chargers and Raiders game more competitive because had the had basically I think what was it
I can't remember the scenarios. If the Ravens had
Baltimore,
won,
yeah, I think like the Ravens had one. It would they would need like I think Jacksonville to like win or whatever, or something like that. I don't know, but Jacksonville and the Colts, we'll get that in a minute. That was something like I haven't seen like wow, like wow. But yeah, like overall, like seeing that, and then they getting hyped in the locker room, and they were just like, "Yo, like we're gonna watch tonight and everything. Let it be a great game and no ties." I was like, "Yo, I really wanted the Raiders and Chargers to tie just to like irritate Steelers fans and back in Pittsburgh."
it was coming close to that for the night game. You know, TJ Watt, he broke some sort of sack record. Apologize, unprofessional that I don't remember which record it is. It might be
No, he
sacks
tied
and
he tied Michael
straight
Strahan's
Michael
sack
Strahan.
record.
Yeah, I don't know if it was for the franchise or if it was Strahan's record, but
No, he already broke. He broke the franchise this season because the franchise was 16 sacks set by James Harrison in 2008 when Harrison won Defensive Player of the Year that year, and then he tied Strahan's record at 22 and a half. But now it's like something where it was like a dead play or whatever that Mike Tom was trying to talk with the NFL to give Watt like a I guess like a full sack or whatever to make it 23 and a half. We'll see how that works, but I mean, right now he and Strahan tied, and I think Watt played like what 14 games this year.
oh, he is hurt a lot. Not as he doesn't get as hurt frequently as his brother does, but he did. Yeah, I forgot. It's hard for me to keep up. You know, 17 games at this point. It's hard for me to keep up with these players' injuries unless they're out for the season, which is unfortunate. But you know, it's just
Right.
I have a good memory. It's just not that good. Latavius Murray had a house call, a lot of decent runs up the middle. Najee Harris overused all season. The we could preview the game Pittsburgh and Kansas City, which should be short because we know what happened last time. All right, we can move on here. Seattle and Arizona.
That was I didn't get to see like much of it though. Prayers up to Quandre Diggs because that was a gruesome injury. I didn't know what had happened because I was looking. I was like, "What is it that bad?" But it was that bad, bro. Like if you go on the internet, I don't even want to see it again. I heard his
I
whole
heard of
foot.
it. I heard of it. I have not seen it. I was all over the place Sunday. Russell Wilson was as good as advertised. He threaded the needle to Metcalf a few times. Tyler Lockett continues to just be the, you know, I don't want to say X factor, but like he continues to be that steady presence
Right.
for
Hmm.
the big time plays. James Conner had a big run after the catch for a touchdown. And I'm trying to remember if looking at my notes here. Lockett, yeah, he converted like a third and 16. It was ridiculous. They ended up getting a field goal out of that drive, but it was very fun to watch. I thought there was a real possibility, you know, obviously you're down DeAndre Hopkins. I thought there was a real possibility Seattle could pull it off just from their offense alone.
Right.
And Rashad Penny, we I want to say he was in rare form, but it was just great blocking, and there were holes for him. There were really holes for Rashad Penny.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really get to see much of that, but I was just like, yeah. I
The
was like, that.
final score was 38-30 was the final
Yeah.
score.
Hmm. That
Um,
was I was watching San Francisco and the Rams game more.
oh, I was gonna get to that. Let me see other page. All right, we did Baltimore, Pittsburgh. All right, we can go to that next. And what do I have after that? Oh, I have Indy and Jacksonville. This was really entertaining. Jimmy G came.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Yeah.
G engineered something that engineered a comeback. Something people say he's not going to do on a consistent basis. Maybe the offense isn't built for it, but 17-0 early, and Higby was killing them to begin
Yeah.
the game. It
But they came back. They came back. Debo Samuels is just. tearing it up, and they end up coming back big time. Because I was like, the 49ers, I was like, damn, their season was almost over based off of the
17
Saints
nothing.
beating the Falcons, so they had to win it. For them to come back and then to win it in overtime, they got the field goal, and they got the big interception. Like Matthew Stafford's got to step up. Like he's got to step up. I get you want to get the ball to Odell, and Odell's not the problem, but you have the best receiver in Cooper Kupp, and you chose not to give him the ball that much in overtime. And you try to take a kill shot to at least try to set up a field goal to tie it and everything. Because I don't know what would happen if they tied though. I think either San Fran would get to the playoffs or something like that. But you try to go for the kill shot and they got picked off. That was like the worst thing that could have happened. And the Rams are lucky they already secured their playoff spot and they're the NFC West champs because of Arizona's loss. But overall, I'm just like, y'all, like Stafford, he got to step it up. And they play each other again in the playoffs for the third time. Like 5 of the 6 matchups are rematches. The only rematch, if I wasn't mistaken, that is happening this wild card of the 6 games, I think is what? Oh yeah, Dallas and the 49ers.
Yeah, I don't believe they play each other. Arizona, these are all rematches. Yes, because Las Vegas got killed by Cincy. Yeah, these are.
Yeah,
I think
Las
Tampa Bay.
Vegas
Tampa
lost to
Bay must have
Cincy.
played Philly this year. They must have played Philly
Yeah, they
already.
did. They played on Thursday night and they lost. Philly lost to Tampa Bay 28-22. The Bengals lost 32-13 to the no, Bengals won against the Raiders 32-13. New England, obviously we know they're divisional rivals
Yeah,
with
they
Buffalo.
split it.
They
They
both
split it.
split. Now they go
Kansas
for
City
the
killed Pittsburgh,
yeah.
and yeah,
And
Arizona, LA. I believe they split. I can't remember
yeah,
off the
they
top of my
yeah,
head.
they just split. Cardinals won the first game, Rams won the second one.
All right. Yeah. One quick thing. For a fade route, 9 route, whatever the term is, that's not really Beckham's game. He's not gonna. Well, it's not like you want him to moss the guy, but that's not his game. Like you could just get him intermediate. It just doesn't make any sense. But he's probably just throwing it up for grabs for the purpose of it's. You're already in the playoffs, and the Cardinals lost. So yeah, it was just weird. It was just weird to watch. But Jimmy G, you can't really that interception where he threw it behind George Kittle. That's some things in the football field just cannot happen, and that was one of them. The huge turnover. I don't have many notes on Indy and Jacksonville. That was beat team against the spread. Oh, hammer the -3. I can never keep up with that stuff. Like I just analyze. Um, I analyze
Dallas,
other
I
things.
mean, Dallas and the 49ers, that'll be an interesting game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers like upset. If Dallas does win, congrats. But 49ers, they're built for it also too.
Yeah, anytime you have Debo Samuel and you're not down by 20, you have a chance. I mean, they were down by 17, to be fair.
Yeah.
Indy and Jacksonville. Yeah, I don't have very many notes. Marvin Jones looked like he was in his third year with the Lions. He started off he had 3 receptions on the first drive, and he looked younger. It was just really weird. Carson Wentz apparently he only had 1 interception on the road the entire season, which is mind-boggling because you would think that it's higher, and maybe Doug Peterson has been vindicated on
Well, he had a decent season. Obviously, the whole Colts relied on Taylor the most, so you know. But yeah, it's just like overall, basically, I don't know. Like for Taylor, he's been the best running back, but we all know if Henry didn't get hurt, Henry would have probably already destroyed Eric Dickerson's record. What is that? I have a question. Do you believe it will be 0-52 total
I
points?
think I think it's over. I think it's
Oh,
over since that game.
over 52 total points. That's a Dallas game. Good question, Pablo Dot Rivera 99. I like it. I like when like people actually engage in this. Um, for me, I feel like it's a possibility that it probably would be because here's the thing, their offenses are really what's like the strong suit. 49ers defense without Salah running it, I don't think really is going to do it justice. Because mind you, the Rams, if Stafford didn't make all the mistakes, I really feel like the Rams would have put more points on the 49ers. As far as Dallas goes, Dallas, we know their offense is going to score now. Obviously, with Gallup going down, that's a big blow. But they do still have Cedric Wilson, who's an underrated receiver, who's pretty decent, and having two decent running backs in Pollard and Elliott, and then having Coop and Lamb. I believe there's a possibility like total points that go over 52. What do you think, DT?
Dalton Schultz is a Dalton Schultz is a good third down target for them. You know, Zach Martin has been one of the best players of the past decade. I believe he's at right guard. The way I see it, I could see this easily being, but I could actually see this being 24-20 for some reason. But I look at it in terms of if you press Amari Cooper, you could really take him out of the game. It's not like, I wouldn't call him a number one receiver. CeeDee Lamb's gonna get his level of production, but the game is just basically the game is gonna be determined probably on how Leighton Vander Esch and company respond to the pre-snap motion, basically. So we all know Shanahan. He creates different types of gaps and everything. So I don't know. It's very interesting. I could see it being low. I could just see it being low scoring, just for the fact that San Francisco, if they run the ball and if they don't break large runs, they just get five at a time. It's gonna be that clock's gonna run, obviously. So I would I would predict this game to be 24-20. That's just my personal. That's just my like
That
personal
still
look
would
at it.
get Pablo da Rivera 99 over the spread by 2 points. So,
No, no, 24-20 is 44, right?
oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think it's 44. It might be 44.
yeah, no, you're right. No, you're right.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Pretty
getting
much.
ahead of myself.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Leighton Vander Esch, he's still a decent player. So yeah, so like I'm not sure. Like I'm not as big on Dallas because of Amari, because I just don't trust Amari Cooper's production. But Dalton
Yeah, I
Schultz,
mean,
Dalton Schultz
normally,
is
like I
really
said,
good.
the
Talking about.
defenses, like I said, probably, but at the same time period, I mean, I'm trying to think. I would say safe bet. I probably would like not try to go for
I
the
wouldn't go
total
over I
points.
wouldn't go over the over because I could see Jimmy G being cautious and not turning the ball over. Like the only thing is you can't really predict turnovers unless the quarterback is absolutely hard, like
Right,
really prone to it.
right.
Fumbles you obviously really can't predict, and turnovers is it's like unless you have like week four of Zach Wilson, then it's really difficult to predict turnovers. So
Hmm.
that's kind of my thoughts. We kind of just previewed San Francisco and Dallas. All right, so we can get into this chart here. It's not even a chart. There's no spreadsheet here. Las Vegas and Cincy. It was not looking good last time for Derek Carr and co. So
Right. Um, for Vegas, I mean, their defense is gonna have to step up for them to have a chance because the Bengals trying to stop Burrow and Chase. They're on a tear right now. The Bengals defense is underrated, bro. Like they have stepped up to the plate against especially the Kansas City Chiefs this year. So, uh, if they can really turn things around this year, I give the Bengals a shot to finally win their first playoff game in like 30 some years. So I think it was like 1990 the last time they won.
1990. Well, we learned all season. Joe Burrow, can be pressured. He'll occasionally make an errant throw. It's like I said before, you have got to love this receiving core for Cincinnati. You've absolutely got to love it. Their defense has
Right.
cooled off. They had a bunch of no names. I remember watching Monday Night Football. I'm Monday Night Football, Monday Night Countdown, and Teddy Bruschi, racking up these no names on Cincinnati's defense, and they were getting it done. They obviously, came back down to earth. You you gotta believe in Crosby because he's been getting pressure all year. Like there's a confidence about him that it's hard to measure that statistically. So Jonathan Abram is out. That's going to hurt them in the run defense.
Right.
And Joe Mixon, I don't I don't know an offensive player that's more underrated in terms of yeah, in terms of just watching pure game film. This guy he was being compared to, I mean, obviously it's projection. He was being compared to great running backs coming out of college, and he did not get a lot of holes, and he still is. He's breaking in them now, but I was trying to get Joe Mixon off the Bengals, like I had any power. But I said Joe Mixon needs to get to a better offensive line. But he's finally has a team. He's waited his turn, and he's a staple in this league. So we can go to
Right.
New England.
Mhm.
We can go to New England and Buffalo. This is very well. Buffalo's at home. This is very interesting. Uh, we're gonna
I got
we're gonna see New England might have to run the ball. What's your thoughts?
yeah. I said the same thing because it's supposed to be like 0 degrees when they play when they play.
I'm stressed. I'm not even there. 0 degrees. They're playing
They're
in
gonna
Buffalo.
play. They're gonna play Saturday, I believe.
I don't have it in
Yeah,
front of me.
I know. Cincy and the Raiders started off. I believe it's gonna be after that New England, Buffalo, and then on Sunday it's gonna be Philly Eagles. What's the other game? Dallas 49ers, the evening game, and then the late game is going to be Pittsburgh and the Chiefs, which I don't know why they want to make that game a Sunday night. And then they're going to have the Monday night game is going to be the Rams and the hosting the Cardinals. But overall, yeah, for if they're gonna have to run the ball again, the Bills are gonna be motivated because they were embarrassed the fact that Mac Jones 3 passing attempts and they ran the ball and you guys still lost in that
That
game.
they responded in the second game, and it looks
Yeah,
like
that was better conditions though. But
yeah.
Buffalo, they're gonna play in like minus weather because if it's cold, if it's about to be like 9 degrees at nighttime here in southern New York. So just imagine what's gonna be like in upper New York, bro. It's always worse in upper New York. That's why I'm just like, yo, I would never go. You have to pay me $1 million and more with a signing bonus for me to go up there and sit in that weather for 3.5 hours just to watch the Bills try to beat the Patriots to get to the divisional round.
The players are fine because it's funny because like the fans are just freezing, but the players are fine because number one, they're not stagnant. Number two, there's heaters on the sideline. This is not 1960s
Yeah, they're
Lambeau
fine. I'm
Field.
talking about the fans.
Yeah, the fans. Yeah. Uh, Here's the thing: we know Josh Allen is really good off script. Stephon Diggs, a great route runner.
hmm
Um, they really it's going to be really hard for Buffalo to survive in these playoffs with the off structure, like with the out of structure, uh, backyard kind of football, a la Big Ben, 2008 or something like that. So like I would like to see Beasley, I would like to see Beasley have a great game if they're going to win this game. Mac Jones is not looking he's not looking as good as he did, but he also has N'Keal Harry who has not lived up to expectations.
Right.
But here's the thing: everyone says every week, "Oh, Bill Belichick defense allowed so many," like as if the guy's the greatest coach ever, but as if he can control everything. He can't really control everything. He still has enough playmakers back there. I will take Buffalo. They're starting to get Singletary involved, and it's always hard to tell how good Singletary is. It's not like he's a make you miss guy, but when you
Right.
have very few touches, then it's it's hard to judge someone's talent. So we'll see,
hmm
and we'll see if Micah Hyde has a good game as well. He's always been relevant going back to his Green Bay days. All right, so we previewed those games. Oh, we're down to the last two. Pittsburgh and KC. It did not look good the last time. I imagine it's more of the same here. Prove me
Yeah,
wrong,
I
someone.
think for Big Ben, this is going to be his last game of his career, man. But what a Hall of Fame career it was. So
Yeah, I'm to be fair, Tyreek Hill was not feeling well. He had some sort of injury. It might have been his heel. Tyreek
yeah,
Hill was not feeling well the last game. Travis Kelsey limping at times. That's the heart of this team. You can say whatever you want about Patrick Mahomes, but
yeah,
but that's the majority of their production right there. So you can like Byron Pringle all you want and Mecole Hardman. You know they're not legitimate number two receivers in this league as far as you know as as far as just having, decent standards. But we'll see. This Kansas City defense was way, way worse in the beginning of the year. Everyone was hitting the panic button, including myself. It just looked like the road to the dynasty was over, and now we're eating crow here in
Yep.
2022. So
Yep.
so we'll see. Joe Hayden's still doing his thing a little bit. He's obviously way older than
Yeah.
he's way past his prime. And Minka Fitzpatrick's still relevant. He's still a good tackler. He's still a ball hawk. He's still a good tackler. And
Yeah,
T.J.
absolutely.
Watt, we can't predict turnovers, but he's got to turn up and more. We'll see if they slide protection to him. Uh we'll see if a running back tries to chip him, which might not work at all. So
Right.
it's going to be Pittsburgh. You're going to need turnovers. That's just it's as simple as that because we know what happened last time. You don't have this is not as relevant. You don't have Juju Smith-Schuster for the entire season, and Big Ben's been throwing passes like 2 yards per attempt. At a certain point against Cleveland, it was just hard to watch. Arizona and L.A. They're not even heavyweights anymore. They're just back down to earth, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's exciting because of the struggles that they've gone through, especially with the Cardinals going through that losing stretch before they beat Dallas, and then the Rams like flamed out, spiced up a bit, and then flamed out in this game against the 49ers. So it's gonna be an interesting battle. Here's the crazy part for the Cardinals. It was like most fitting because they're a better road team than they are at home. Cause they were like almost like undefeated, almost like on the road, and like at home, it's like you couldn't even like win in your own building, which is like the crazy part about it. So maybe this is like meant for the Cardinals not to be at home whatsoever throughout the playoffs, and they can be like the biggest underdogs and whatnot, and knock it out. Hopefully in the wild card round, maybe division round, maybe the NFC Championship if they make it to those rounds. So um, I don't know. I think maybe the Rams may get it together, possibly, and that's possible. But then some people might want to go with the Cardinals just because of the fact that they've, like I said, they've been a better road team.
It's going to be Zach Ertz, to the third power. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know how to say that in math terms. I'm forgetting it. No, squared is two, but it's gonna be It's gonna be Zach Ertz to the third power. It's a lot of you know. It's like Buffalo. You can't really live out of structure. The offense looks kind of mangled. It's not as if James Conner is breaking off long runs. He's getting short touchdowns. Chandler Jones. I gotta say, I might have said it in an earlier recording. Chandler Jones is really underappreciated. I mean, he used to average, he still averages double digit sacks a season, and he's got a great bend and twist to him. So,
Right.
if he can get Stafford off his spot a little bit, we already know that's possible. So and so I big ups to Buda Baker as well. He's quietly been in the Pro Bowl a few times, at least 3 times. It might have been 4 times actually. So I would still go with Aaron Donald in the Rams. Jalen Ramsey, you're obviously going to have to stay away from him. AJ Green is not what he was, but Zach Ertz he's kind of making a little bit of a resurgence to circle the point. And I said we were done, but we didn't do Philly and Tampa Bay. So
Yeah, I mean, with that game, Philly and Tampa Bay, I mean, they made it really competitive. Like Tampa Bay was leading huge at one point, and then I think they overcame that, and then made it a one possession game, losing by 6 points. So it's all really about the running game. Of course, I got the Bucks obviously because of the experience. But the Bucks really got lucky with the fallout with the Cowboys losing to Arizona and then the Rams losing to the 49ers because otherwise the Bucks would have stayed at number three, probably played a wild card game at home, and then they would have been on the road the following week if the Rams won their matchup. And obviously Green Bay is the number one seed. So, but really, obviously, Brady's had a heck of a season, even though a lot of people probably don't like him. 5,316 yards, led the NFL in that category, led in passing yards. Many have Rodgers, including myself, winning back-to-back MVPs this year. But simply put, I think for the Eagles, they're going to have to get their run game going. They're going to need their guys healthy, which is why they rested their starters. They didn't care about the last game against the Cowboys. Why should they? But now it's like it's a game on now because Hurts is playing. Kelsey's playing and everything. So it's going to be a very interesting season. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to be transpiring, especially looking at what's happening with the Bucks and the Eagles. But I got the Bucks in this one.
Yes, they're activating a few players from the virus list. Shaq Barrett, it's kind of been hard to track his production this year. JPP is always relevant. Obviously, losing Chris Godwin, it's a big blow. But we've seen we've seen certain games like where Mike Evans could actually, he can disappear at times. But that's more or less when they play the Saints. So
Well, yeah, I mean, but
yeah.
here's the thing: you got to play. Like, here's what they're gonna do. We don't know what Leonard Fournette is gonna look like when he gets back. I'm assuming he's playing this game against the Eagles. Shaq Barrett, he is basically coming back and whatnot, and then of course you have
Sherman's out. Sherman's out
yeah,
for the season.
Sherm's out, but overall, it's just like when it comes to the Bucks. Like I said, I think I got the Eagles. Like they got the Bucks over the Eagles just because like the Eagles team not really a stat like they once were when they like would win the Super Bowl and everything. But the second round, that's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Bucks because if I feel like if you can limit Evans and then double Gronkowski and whatnot, I feel like they got this in the bag because there's no AB because he did what he did, and then Godwin out. They're gonna have to have these other no name series like Cyril Jones or whatever his name
Cy-
was,
Cyrus. Oh my God.
Johnson or something like
I'm supposed to
that.
know these guys' names. It's like Cypril Gibson or something. It's hard. You can't even. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
guy that
really
caught the
weird.
game-winning touchdown against your Jets, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and the fact that the Jets almost beat them, there's concern because everybody's like, "Oh, well, they got to number two team." I'm like, "Yeah, but they beat the Panthers." That defensively, they're still trying to figure themselves out. Brian Burns. I like Brian Burns. He has potential, and their offense ain't scoring, especially with no Christian McCaffrey. Their quarterback situation is brutal, and they're probably going to have to draft a quarterback. And there's not that really big name quarterbacks. Cam is saying he's willing to be a backup next year for a good team or whatever. So it's like whatever. But the fact that they lost to almost the Jets, now I get the whole AB debacle, and that might have motivated them, whatever. But at the same time period, you have Robert Saleh who can get. He's going to be a great coach, and if hopefully they build around um, Zach Wilson and get a defense going for Salah. Hopefully, the Jets can actually do something. I will say that. But Robert Salah, I applaud the resilience that he's had this far because he almost beat Tom Brady. If they would have converted DT, literally like on that fourth down play, if y'all would have converted and had a better call instead of just letting Wilson run up the middle to stop, and maybe their defense played better because I think they were
They
up
could have kicked
four.
the field. They could have kicked the field goal. It would have made it a 7 point game actually, because they were
They
in plus.
they
They were in plus
they
territory. They were in the goal line, so that's plus territory.
I think yeah, but then the Bucks went for two though. So it was like 24-20, then the Bucks converted on that and they went for two. But
Yeah,
the
maybe
whole
I'm
thing
thinking
about it,
different scenario.
yeah, but the
The
whole thing
Bucks
about it,
aren't the Bucks aren't the same. Is the lesson of it. So yeah,
yeah, but the
they're
whole
not the
thing
same.
about it is like, what do you have to lose? You guys weren't going to make the playoffs anyway, so you might as well win for it. If you guys converted, you guys would have ran out the clock and won the game because I think Brady had no timeouts.
Well, yeah, like he had if yeah, even if you have limited amount of timeouts, when you drive down the field with chunk plays, then you know I hate to say it is what it is, but that's how you say. I hate cliches, but that's how you have
Sure.
to sum it up. But yes,
Yeah.
the Bucks. Tom Brady's quietly had a season where he's just stacking up, he's just racking up yards, and then you're looking out there, and it's not as finesse, it's not as pretty, but when you can overmatch your some of your division rivals, except for the Saints. But when you face the Panthers, a team that's falling apart, and that game's not even that competitive, and you almost lose to the Jets. It's kind of hard to measure their level of success, or at least project it. But yeah, I can see. if I want to go to the Eagle side, I could see, Fletcher Cox making some plays. He's a little bit older now, obviously, but if they can have one of these linebackers spy Jalen Hurts, it might just be a very long day. And remember, Hurts he did not look that well early in the season. He's obviously progressed from there. I'd never believed in him, even when he was on Alabama, but he's proven me wrong just a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, I would take Tampa Bay if my life depended upon it. So yeah, that's the Wednesday wrap up. Last time we did it on Thursday. I'm gonna try to. I always say that, and I never do. But I'm actually gonna post this somewhere else, just because for the purposes of I'm on my computer all the time, applying to various jobs and like coaching stuff. So I'll end up sending you the link. It's gonna be. I'm gonna have to just like stay shuttered in because all these games are gonna occupy my entire weekend, including Monday. So
All right.
all right, so Darryl and Vernon.
All righty, guys. Have a good one.